Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Patreon, 5, 4, 5? What are we on? We're on something. I'm happy to be here. Today we're going to explore an idea that I kind of had when I had the idea for Patreon exclusives. I call it the Ducky 15. This is a list of 15 songs that are the most important to me. Usually it's probably going to be the songs that I'm enjoying the most around that time. You know, it all depends on a factor. Like, it's not definitely that I'm just going to say, hey, this is the #1 song on my top 100 songs of all time. That's not in this, because it's not a current song that's really pressing to me. It could also be something that's present in my life. Like, for example, how in the September roundup, I talked about Marry You by Bruno Mars, a song that for sure is not big, but I heard on the radio so much, I kind of felt like I was getting punched in the face with it. So something like that, you know, is kind of in the way. Most of them will be good. This one I think is like a 97% good ratio. There's nothing on here that like I'm over aggressively thinking of. Like another example I think of in maybe doing something like this is that, you know, let's say I'm in the middle of talking about a Drake album and I have to have Toozy slide as so much B-roll. It's the only thing I'm going to see and the only thing I'm going to be thinking about. Not this time. Currently working on the best songs of all time, so yeah, we're in a good spot there. So of course, again, I'm going to say that there might be a couple best list spoilers in here, but at the same time, I'm not telling you where they are. They just kind of are the songs that I'm thinking about a lot. So let's get going. Let's get in there. So, Reanimator by Everything Everything came out a few months ago. It happened that my favorite record store in the world is currently not open. They have said that they absolutely will not open until we are on the other side of COVID, and we're almost there, but they do have an online store. So basically what I've been doing is just buying a bunch of albums from them. And I found out that Everything Everything had an album coming out this year. And I thought, whoa! So I pre-ordered it. I actually ended up pre-ordering multiple albums this year, Future Nostalgia being one of them. And it came, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. It's hard to say that I loved it, considering that a lot of bands from eras like this that I love so much, really, as their career kind of gets farther and farther, I kind of think, it's still very, very good, but you know, their 2015 album, Get to Heaven, is still just going to be the best thing that they're probably ever going to make. Again, you can hold out hope. Kesha released her best album this year. To me, I understand that that's not an opinion anybody else shares, but usually this is what will happen. I have a lot of examples of bands like that where their best album came out very early in last decade, and then they would make an album at the end of last decade, and it was not even close to as good. But, it is a very chill, nice album. If you want to relax, I would absolutely recommend listening to Reanimator. I'm sorry that I've done this again, but I do recommend listening to the album. It's a good album. Everything is great. But my favorite is the lead single, Arch Enemy. I just think it's the most enjoyable. It's the one that I get stuck in my head occasionally whenever I'm just kind of doing something and thinking, what song really caught me from that album? And I always think of Arch Enemy. There's another song called Lost in the Trapdoor. I think that was close, but it's just not as prevalent a song as Arch Enemy is to me. And it's ironic because, of course, they just released that as a single way before the album came out. But yet, it's still a very solid album that I'd recommend, and a great song.
Fuck you, goodbye.
Fuck You, Goodbye by the Kid Laroi is way better than it deserves to be. This was one of those cases of me seeing the Billboard Hot 100 as a playlist on Spotify, going about to like 96, and I don't remember the song. You know, I have the notebook in front of me. I could basically just flip over to my tentatives for the best list this year and just look at it. Always Do was the song that brought me in. And kind of like Lost in the Trapdoor, like Everything Everything, I went a little deeper. Fuck You Goodbye is just more of a simplistic sentiment that is in front of me. And I'll get. Always Do is kind of the same deal. The Kid Laroi is under average, but the production that comes with him is definitely above average. So it's enjoyable to listen to. You just kind of have to tolerate him. I'd say the same thing about, Ian Dior and Mood, even though I more than tolerate him in that. I think he's really, really good in that song. And I just kind of love its dumb bluntness. I mean, clearly the song is called Fuck You Goodbye. It's not really trying to be something high art or something that's hard to grasp. It's just pissed off dude at lady, and it works. I mean, he sounds raw and angry and pissy, and that's what you want to get out of a song called Fuck You Goodbye. And, when it's just this shameless, I can't really get mad at it. Fuck You by Amen, I'm not gonna get behind, but it's better. It sounds better. That's it. You know me, I like sound. Sound good. Okay, so this is where we're gonna swerve a little bit. This is a recommendation from my dad. He's been saying for a few months to listen to King Crimson, and I finally decided to listen to In the Court of the Crimson King, which was his raw recommendation. And that face kind of looked familiar. I wondered why. And then I realized that this is the 20th Century Schizoid Man Band. I would like to say, for the record, that is the worst song on that album. That album is phenomenal. It's really good. And as a person who's just gotten into Yes, my dad kind of understood to transition me there because it's the same kind of avant-garde, abstract, progressive rock from the early 70s. So I love it. I love that album. I checked out the album after it, and it was pretty good. The problem with 20th Century is just the voice modulation. I don't like what the singer did to his voice, because the rest of the album, he's just lovely. And the biggest thing is that it's all like this productional stew, where they have wind sections, and they have... The drummer takes me away. The Schizoid Man drummer is fucking good. He has some licks that blow my mind. And, of course, you're still listening to the person who just bought Heat of the Sunrise on Rock Band 4, and I still think that that's like the bee's knees licks and triplets that I'm going to hear like that. I Talk to the Wind is the big takeaway song that I took from that album. Basically, the only thing to talk about is it is probably my favorite flute song of all time. That flute work is mwah. Not a big woodwind guy. I think I've said this before, but take my thoughts at face value, being a dumb, monkey-brained percussionist that I am. I've lived a lot of time with apathetic band people who weren't good at woodwinds, so I've heard flutes and clarinets played in their best way, and yeah, that definitely makes those instruments worth it. But played wrong, it doesn't hold a candle to a bad trumpet. Like, a bad trumpet is tolerable. A bad woodwind is ouch. But yeah, I recommend I Talk to the Wind. In fact, I just recommend this entire album. Listen to this album. It's very good. Yahoo! Here are my opinions about Mouth Dreams. I think I've had enough time to think about this. This was a very underwhelming album, and I don't blame Neil for that. He had some massive shoes to fill, his own shoes. Because I just think Silence and Moods are just so good, and they have bone-chilling moments, and Dreams had to live up to that, and Dreams is not bad at all. It's very good, it's just not albums 2 or 3. Honestly, I've been thinking about making a video about this, clearly on the other side of list season. That'll probably even be more time to stew and listen to this, because, as I've said, since I have a 2007 iPod Nano, I do still use that, and I have downloaded Mouth Dreams to it, so I have been listening to it a lot more than anything else this year, and I think I have thoughts. But my favorite part of the album were songs that were build-ups. Cannibals. It's just the THX theme put with some of the PBS Boston intro, and it's just used over that. I don't like You Drive Me Crazy, but I love that flowing sound of just the background elements, it gives me chills. Same thing with 10,000 Spoons. It's the spirit of Wonderwall is there. It's a buildup of just one element getting in there. And that's why I've come to realize that Yahoo is my favorite song on Mouth Dreams. It just digs deep. Every time I hear it, I'm excited. I will always have that moment where we were on that stream and we weren't getting it to work and it just wouldn't play. And as we're all freaking out, trying to figure it out, you just hear that first Yahoo cut through. The chills I get still from listening to it. It is just mixed and pitched so perfectly. It's wonderful.
Girl, put your records on.
Yeah, maybe this song is terrible. Okay, I stared at the internet enough. I know that Ethan's already thrown it under the bus for being shit, and I've seen, like, comment sections on Twitter where people are flipping shit about how bad this is. The difference that I experience with this is that I'm completely over the original. I feel like I've heard Corinne Bailey Rae's version a billion times. And that's perfectly accurate and scientific, and nobody will be able to dispute that. I'm sick of it. I don't like it. I think it's really boring. The great songs can work their way through overplay. Like, I've been a stickler about Smooth, Rob Thomas, Santana. I'm coming around on it. It's becoming better. Yes, I can thank Neil for that also. But the more detached I'm coming from that overplay period, the better it's becoming, and the more I'm realizing, yeah, it's smooth. It's very good. Put Your Records On is not. It's fine, and I've heard it a billion times. Therefore, it's not. Like, I don't want to listen to Iris ever again. Iris, I know by heart, and I just... No more Iris, please. No more Put Your Records On. And that is exactly why this weird guy by the name of Rit Momney makes this odd lo-fi cover, and I love it. I just really enjoy a wacky change like that. I hear you, okay. I get that maybe objectively it is not the best sounding thing, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I'm probably not going to be obsessed with it in a couple months like I am now. It's just, right now, it's a goofy cover that I like. Beats the shit out of that cover album that Weezer released, where I just thought, hey, I'd rather hear the original. This is the dead opposite. I never want to hear the original again. This I'll take every day. Shark Attack by Grouplove should always be here. I'm going to always love this song. The way this song kind of punched its way into my life, where it was just on a Discover Weekly, and I listened to it, and I thought, wow, that was really good. And then I put it in my liked songs playlist, and then I heard it like 2 more times, and I started to think, I think I want to listen to that a lot more, and I was just addicted. Like, I am addicted to Shark Attack. I have an ongoing melee matchup with one guy who's beaten me tens of thousands of times in 1v1s, and I beat him to Shark Attack once. Like, this song is a part of my soul now. So number 10 on this list is an acknowledgement that Shark Attack is always here. It's always a part of my life. I hear it. I'm going to want it there forever. Will it be in my top 100 songs of all time? Yeah, it's going to be in my top 10 songs of all time. It's not going to show up when I get there because, of course, that is still a 2017 revised list that I will be working through. But when I revise it, you better be goddamn ready it's going to be in that top 10 because it's Shark Attack by Grouplove. Listen to it forever. Thank you. So, I've been going back and forth about what my favorite Yes album is. Now, I want this to be explained that in April, I started to pull up some of the records from my dad's collection downstairs. And I listened to Fragile, and I was like, shit, that's like a 9 out of 10. So then I went back downstairs, and I got more records, and I listened to Close to the Edge. And I was like, wow, that has like one of the best songs I've ever heard. And then I just started listening to every one of Yes's albums on Spotify. And I'd like to say that of their first 9 albums, they're all 9 out of 10s. Or better. So that's Yes. I wasn't really doing a hyperbole in that worst list. That wasn't really a over-exaggeration. I think Yes was completely ahead of their time. The argument for me has come, what is my favorite Yes album? And it comes between two. The first is the Yes album, not Yes, self-titled, their first album, the Yes album, their third album. Are you confused yet? I've had a lot of ordeals with this being a confusing mess. But the Yes album was an album I was listening to when I was like 10, because my dad would have it in our 2001 Chevrolet Silverado, and I remember listening to it when we would be on a little road trip, and that album hits my soul in a way that a lot of them don't. I know that if you look at probably other arguments, people are going to say, what, Close to the Edge is better, or Fragile is better. And yes, they do have their differences and their different advantages and disadvantages. Yes album is the nostalgia album for me. Relayer is the other album I go around with being my favorite, because I think it's just raw musicianship for 3 songs. Now, this is Yes, so of course 3 songs is 40 minutes, but it's just them going at it, showing off that absolute talent that they all have. I remember when I listened to Relayer the first time, my jaw was on the floor. I was just blown away. Like, Jesus, that is so good. Sound Chaser is the 10 out of 10 from that album. That's it. Relayer by Yes, listen to it. It's very good. If you don't want to listen to a whole album, I would recommend listening to Close to the Edge, the song. Maybe the album if you're into it, but Close to the Edge, the song, brings tears to my eyes. So I'd recommend that. But Sound Chaser is the song that I am living. Yeah, not sure why this is on here. I'm not sure that this is really that topical. It's not like Todd made a video about the waitresses. The fun backstory to this one was the gang, shout out to Calvin, I'm sure he's watching right now. The gang was playing Rainbow Six as we do, and he just started humming it, and for the next like 3 sessions, it just kept coming up because this is the most addictive, catchy Christmas song of all time. I think I shortchanged it in my Christmas list. It probably is for sure better than that Dolly Parton medley. Sorry, Dolly, but I mean, that horn line, that bass line is dreamy. It's so good. I just love the fact that the whole thing was like a joke to the guy. That still cracks me up. I can't believe that. So this is one where I would say, don't listen to this song. Because if you listen to it, it is going to be trapped in your head forever. So don't do that. Just take my word for it. Prom Night by Anna Managuchi, I have to say, might be one of the best pop songs ever made. Bianca Raquel is so good. She is a star. And of course, the only place I know her from is one song on Endless Fantasy, and it's so good. This is currently the Anna Managuchi song that's sticking with me. I'm thinking about listening to We Die soon, but right now I got Endless Fantasy on vinyl. It's a splatter vinyl. It looks dope. That album is so good and so long, so that's like the most enjoyable thing ever. And my favorite thing about it is that it's just this simple gesture. Love me like it's prom night. I remember I was in the car and I heard that and I thought, wow, that is so succinct and so perfect. That's it. It's just one of the best pop songs. Listen to it right now. Prom Night is a phenomenal pop song. On the topic of vinyls, I got Emotion on vinyl. Hence, I was trying to help that vinyl store by just buying a bunch of stuff online. I actually had never listened to it before. I was just doing it based on the recommendation. I gotta say, I fucked up. I think Emotion is the best pop album of the 2010s. It is so consistently good, and nearly every song immediately went onto my Spotify playlist. Like, I've got at least 3/4 of this album on some playlist because it is so good, and it works so well. Why would I even consider After Laughter? What is wrong with me? It's just so good. How did I miss this? LA Hallucinations is sticking with me so much harder than every other song on there. Like, I discovered Making the Most of the Night, which I think is great. Runaway with Me is a clear 10. But I know I say the same things a lot when I'm doing these randomly typed videos, but it really does just creep into my soul, and I'm just feeling exactly what she wants. And, oh man, it breaks me up inside. I cannot believe how good this song is.
Can see a flashlight cutting.
Sad.
Regrets, regrets.
When Get to Heaven was recommended to me by Rob, I listened to the album, and I gleamed 3 songs off of it, and then I think I listened to Cough Cough a little bit. But the 3 songs that I glommed out of that album were not Regret. Regret was just one of those songs that all of the sudden it shows up on a Discover Weekly. I'm like, I already know this song. I listened to it 4 years ago. Let's listen to it again. And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. I'll add that to playlist. And then Regret has become one of my unskippables. And it's just one of those, I hear the first beats right off the bat, and I'm excited. I'm excited to sing along. I'm excited to listen to it. Regret is deeply simple and makes me just remember that everything is so good. God, I love that line where they just go, and everything will change. And it's not like they say everything and everything. They say it like it's just their band name, and stupid little lyric like that. Regret is so good. Please also listen to Get to Heaven. I would recommend it more than Reanimator. Listen to Get to Heaven. It's very good.
Have you ever met a real nigga rock star?
We're gonna hear a lot about this song very soon, so I'm just gonna save my thoughts. It's number 3 on the Ducky 15. Just so you know.
Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
Thank you to the remix for this, because the popularity of that has re-sparked my love for this fucking phenomenal song. It really makes the remix worth it. I don't like the remix. It really has no reason to exist. I find it very frustrating that it exists. But I am happy for what it did, because the original is transcendent. The fact that 75% of the original is part of the remix really helps me feel soft about it and okay with its existence and the fact that I hear it on the radio. This is not just pop music anymore. This is, you pick up one of your favorite albums of the year and, oh my God, there's this song on it that you want the world to know about, but it's not going to be a hit. Why would it be a hit? It's not going to be a hit. It got a remix and is a hit. So people are almost getting the experience of what you're getting. It fits the idea of future nostalgia probably better than any song on that record. It is a sound that I long for. It is like actual future nostalgia. This is infectious in the ways that I want it to be. I'm sorry, there's just a fly that just came down from my light and it died. So can't wait to clean that up after this. Levitating is phenomenal, but right now I am addicted to a song, and
I can swallow a bottle of alcohol in a...
Fuck, man. I didn't believe that this was gonna happen. I wasn't ready for this, but whenever I start to do worthless calculations, I listen to every top 40 for the Billboard Top 100. I just go through every song that I don't know. I click it, I listen to it, I go with it. I'm sure We Paid, people hate a lot, but of course I heard it once and just thought, ew, gross, yuck. So when I come across Godzilla, I remember there's another guy who usually shows up on Calvin's streams who he brought up the fact that he loved it. And I was like, whatever. And then 4 months later, I'm forcing myself to listen to it. I remember sitting start to finish thinking, okay, I'm going to write that down to listen to it again. And then I did, and then I thought, okay. So this is on my best list now. The wackiest thing about the whole thing is I've never been an Eminem fan. I don't know if I brought this up in the worst of 2013 list, the fact that I've really never been a fan of Eminem, but I've just really never been a fan of Eminem. I've always thought he's there and he's been there. I've never really tried to get more into his stuff. I remember, I think I had this little pop phase in 2004 where I thought I was all cool because I was listening to rap, when in reality I was listening to Kiss FM and it was just pop music, and at the time rap was kind of breaking a little harder in. I thought I was so cool for listening to rap behind my parents' back. And of course, that's like the encore days. So maybe that was part of the reason that I really didn't like Eminem that well. Now, of course, there are Eminem songs that I say I like. And then there's this. I really don't have anything to say about it. It's one of those songs that just transfixes me, where I'm listening to it and I just kind of have my jaw casually on the floor the whole time because my brain shuts off and this just flows through my veins. I don't know if I just said it, although I know that I just said it, but this is definitely going to make my best list. So anyway, thank you for supporting. Here are you guys, you current guys. Pew, 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 pew. Have a good month. I'll try not to die in peak since I'm in the middle of the most busy time of life for being a shipping supervisor. So I'll see you.